Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Behind the Mic here in our beautiful MusicTown studios, recording studio, broadcast studios on the second floor of Hockeytown, downtown Detroit. Thanks for tuning in. Little late, sorry about that, but we are here ready to roll. And today's special guest, the Sugarees. Hello, Billy Brandt.
The Sugarees, the upper morphing group.
How you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm doing great. I can't hear you, though, on my headphones.
You can't hear him? Okay, he can't hear
There you are.
me.
Now I got you.
Okay. I was wondering why you didn't answer me. I was like, hello, Billy.
I got you now.
Okay, good. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. It's been a wild ride the last few weeks. I'm putting this new record out, and
Yes.
been a lot of events and a lot of shows, and I'm happy about it.
You've been all over. I'm watching your posts. They just keep popping up. And you just, TV, all the different radio stations. I mean, you've been everywhere, which good for you. I mean, that's...
I made a conscious decision when I put this record out, which is officially out now, but it's last Saturday. But I made a decision, and I keep doing these over the years, and I haven't really pulled the promotion button since Jill. And
Jill Jack.
Yeah, I wanted to just do the same for myself. I just haven't done it. So I worked and I contacted the right people and spent a little money and just put it out there.
Well, you have to. I mean, it's your business.
It is my business, and I just didn't want to go down with a whimper. I was when I say down, I mean I've been doing a lot of these. I thought I don't want to do another record. They're expensive. I'm not sure what they're worth anymore. That's something we can talk about, but I wanted to do something decent. I wanted someone to hear it.
Yes. Well, good. I mean, and we're talking about this new album, new CD. As you said, you had a big CD release last week.
Yep, the album Riverside.
Billy Brandt and the Sugarees called Riverside. So, there's a lot to it. And, good for you, getting out there and getting it promoted. All you got to do is, it's just a bunch of legwork, kind of, mostly phone work, just contacting the people.
And it's a suit up and show up process.
Yes.
Like a lot of things in this life.
Yeah, and like I said earlier, it is a business. You have to promote it. You have to, let people know you're out there. If you don't let them know you're out there, how else are you going to do it?
And we're also distracted this day. You actually kind of have to hit them over the head a little bit.
With the CD.
Yeah, exactly. With your message.
Well, good for you. I was like, wow, it's another post. Well, Billy's here. So that's cool.
Yeah.
Well, good for you.
That's what the idea was, just as much exposure as I could get. And now the question is, do I want to go for that kind of promotion approach a little more regionally? Mm-hmm. And I'm thinking about it, but I'm not sure I can pull it off. But I'm going to look into it. Well, for one thing, to tour a band is something that's impossible.
Why would it? Other lives?
I'll tell you exactly why. Because everyone has lots of lives.
Yes,
they can't go on the road for 4 weeks where you can pay them zilch, because that's what you make on your first initial out, and then them leave their jobs and their families. It's cool if you're 19,
right? But
not for adults. Now you can do it as a duo. You can get out there as a duo, especially if you're a male-female relationship duo.
Oh yeah. Of course, that way, you can...
One hotel room.
Right, exactly, yeah.
These are the base. This is the reality of it. The reality of it is you can't go on the road if you're an adult unless you're getting $1,000 a night 4 times a week.
That doesn't happen.
No, it doesn't. But you can go out for little weekends around Michigan, around the region. And if you do a small thing like Dylan and Jennifer, they're a duo. They're married. Mm-hmm. They can figure the expenses out. Yeah. 1 day a week.
Makes a difference.
Every night.
Yeah. Yeah, that's unfortunate that, you can't go out and do what you need to do to promote your music and everything.
Before the internet, they had these things called record companies.
Yeah.
That system was not broke. That system worked. It worked like a charm.
Well,
the internet broke the music business. I love the internet because we're all stars and we can look good and sound good on our phone, and I love that. I'm not kidding about that.
Okay.
But it broke the business.
Now, I've heard the opposite, that the record companies were not...
That's the tale they tell.
Okay.
It's bull.
Oh, okay.
The record companies chose pretty much the cream of the crop, pretty much.
That was the other thing, yeah.
And they had the system that worked, where from like you said, from farm to table. They had from recording studio to radio to distribution to the record store in your town where you heard it on your local radio station. The only place you could get it was at the record store or hearing it on the radio. That system worked like a charm.
Yeah, yeah.
That was the good days.
I remember way back, I was a music director for a radio station, and
I remember.
the record labels were constantly, setting up appointments with me and bringing, here's this artist, play this song, play this song.
Because it was the only game in town to
it
hear
was
the
fun.
stuff. Exactly. You had all the power.
I did.
And now
I miss those days.
we have internet radio stations. They're great. It's fun. If you remember to tune in, it's killer. You get to hear yourself, and it always is edifying for me to, just to know someone heard something. You know what I mean? But because of the distribution arm now is so wide, with all the internet outlets and with even where to buy your product, it's all over the place. And of course, digital products don't pay. They pay like a penny per play.
Yeah, which is just blows my mind when I hear that.
But I'm having very positive feelings about the future of that.
Okay.
There was a meeting the DMAs put on.
Oh yes, we were
Exactly,
saw that,
and
yes.
that actually was Sean that made me feel really good about it. The guy from SoundScan.
Yes.
He made me feel it's going to get handled. Just get your information right. We're going to get it together in Washington. It's going to get handled. So I felt good about that.
I do remember him saying that, and I could almost feel all the musicians in the room just kind of like, oh yeah, relief.
Exactly.
Yeah. That was cool. Yeah, they. That was a good, an interesting night. And actually, there's something about that, and I want to talk to you about it. But let's go hear a song first.
Okay.
I know you guys are itching to play.
Yeah, well, it sounds good in here, I gotta say. So I'm sitting here with the Monday morning version of the Sugarees, which is Chris Tenor on acoustic guitar today, and Ozzie Andrews on bass. Ozzie's a new member of the family, and I'm glad to have him. He plays really, really nice stuff. And good to have you, Ozzie. You're really good. And then I'm Billy Brandt. We're gonna do a little bit of the title track called Riverside.
Okay.
1, 2, 3. Whoa, wait a second.
Capo?
Capo 5. Yeah, C is the first note. Oh, I was in drop D.
You were when we were waiting for the.
Sorry, I was in a different tune, folks. I got distracted by my music business dialogue. Took me right off my game. Here we go. I'm good now. 1, 2, buckle my shoe. You know I'm gone walking by the riverside. I got a feeling that comes and goes when I'm walking by the riverside. This old world's tumbling down. We're gone walking by the riverside. Tell your lies, sing your songs. It doesn't matter by the riverside. Ooh, hey, babe, gonna let you know I won't walk with you by the riverside.
Nice.
That was nice. Nice rhythm part at the end. I should have worked that longer. That was cool.
Nice job, Chris.
Thank you.
Riverside, title track from the brand new Sugarees, Billy Brandt and the Sugarees album. Did you write that walk in our lovely river walk here in downtown Detroit?
No, I know. I was in my backyard, which has a part of the Rouge River behind it. It's more like a creek.
Okay.
When it rains, it looks kind of like a river, but otherwise, it's just kind of an indentation. It's got water, but
I was gonna say right now it's probably got a lot of water.
yeah, it's been pretty flowy this year.
Yeah.
But it was last summer or the summer before. I was just out in my backyard and around that nice summer evening time, and I just started playing my guitar. Those chords came up. I went, oh. Got something, grab the iPhone. It's like capturing a little animal. You're just sitting there. It's like almost like swatting or catching a bird. You're just laying there and just playing your guitar. All of a sudden you go, those chords are right. I feel it. Like the forces of the universe are now focusing around me right now. This is the moment. Grab it. And I grab my phone and I just tape what comes off the top of my head, and that's what it was.
That happen a lot? With all your songs, is that
that's how
kind of spur of the moment?
Yeah, I never sit down with a pencil and paper to write a song.
Okay.
Ever. Ever. You got that, songwriters. That is not a conscious effort, it's an unconscious effort.
And you've got many, many amazing songs, so it works.
Everyone has access to this thing. This is not a Billy miracle. It's a theory I have that I'm a proponent of this, and I will sell it and pontificate it to all who will listen.
Yeah, jar it and you'll make millions, right?
Exactly. They don't like me at the songwriting workshop teaching things because I teach stuff like that. There's one I used to teach at. I won't mention it, but I've taught there for years. And some new people came in, and they were really, they're good. They're good players, but they're more of the school of get your thesaurus and get your pencil and paper and your intention of exactly what you're going to write about in those rhymes. And I just can't do that. I got to just have it. Mine's more like. Never mind.
Well, it's a feeling for you.
It's
more just a feeling that pops in your head, and you better get it.
If I capture it, I know I can almost recognize it. I know what it sounds and smells like, and it doesn't happen all the time.
Do you go, like you were saying, that one happened in your backyard? Do you go to specific spots or places, whatever, that will put you in those moods? No.
No, it's not about that. It's about just
okay.
Actually, if I'm holding my guitar, it's about being in a comfortable seat. I'm serious.
That makes a difference, right?
This chair works for me really good. I like little flat back chairs, and I can write a song.
Okay. So laying in a hammock won't do it for you?
Not at all.
You'll be snoring before you know it, and there's no song.
That's the truth of me. It would take maybe 2 to 3 minutes, and I'm out. I can't even shut my eyes without falling asleep. I think that's part of my age. I'm getting a narcoleptic.
We mentioned the Detroit Music Foundation had that event.
Yeah, it was a good event.
It was a good event. They had some good people there, and I wish I could have seen your face because I was sitting kind of behind you, but I could see you from the side a little bit, and of course. Looking at the guy that was talking, it might have been Sean. I can't quite remember which one was.
Sean was the guy sitting down from Chicago from SoundScan.
Right, and he may have been. He was probably the one that said this about CDs. And you could correct me if I'm wrong. I don't remember which one, but he was like, "Throw them out. Don't do CDs." And I think you kind of were like, what?
Oh, that was Sean, too.
Yeah.
Because he was all about the digital.
Yes.
He was all about the digital. But what he had to say about digital was absolutely eye-opening.
Yeah.
That there is they're sorting it out. You get that data down and
metadata.
Metadata. That means that anywhere on the internet, because it's all Big Brother in the end. You can join Big Brother. That's who you have to join. Big Brother, who knows everything you're doing, and that's what the metadata provides.
Right.
So all the plays get tracked, and then once you get a decent dollar per play or 10 cents per play, as opposed to the 100th of a cent you're getting, then it could work a little bit for everybody.
All right, we'll keep our fingers crossed.
We will.
Trust that
get
Sean
that price up.
Had the inside
He said he was based out of Washington now, and that's what they're working on.
Yeah. So, okay. Very cool. All right, well, so now you mentioned Chris and Ozzy here. Phil, Chris, you're on this. You're part of the Sugarees.
Chris is all over that, doing great stuff.
Why don't we give a shout out to the other members of the Sugarees who are not here today?
Okay, we have John Hoke on bass on most of the tracks. He's just an excellent singer, songwriter, bass player. He has his own band, The Sequins, and he also has a job to take care of his family, and he can't make it this morning because he's at his job. And we have on drums mostly Todd Glass, but we also have Ron Pangborn, both old friends of mine, both great drummers. Their reputation just speaks for them.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody knows.
Yeah.
And we have two different keyboard players on the record. We have Mike Lynch from Lansing, who we love very much. But again, very hard to line everybody up when everyone's halfway around the state.
Right.
So he's on part of it. And then Dale Gryza from Livonia, who's a great keyboard player and piano player, is on some of the other tracks as well. Who else do we have as a guest on this?
Dave Falk.
We have Dave Falk.
Oh, Dave Falk, yeah. Dave was in here last time with you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Dave Falk, he plays with me as a duet on Hot Tea and Honey. And then
Anna Maria. And
Anna Maria,
Roscoe are in
right,
here.
and Anna Maria sings on Missing You, some soulful vocals. Roscoe is my co-producer on this, and he's got his hands all over the place, and sometimes I don't even know where they are. I was listening to a track the other day going, is that you, Chris, playing that part? And he goes, what part? And I'm going, I don't, there's a part there. It was Roscoe. He just quietly laid one in. And
Oh, that's funny.
and you don't even know. But it's the right thing always, so don't even question it because he's got good instincts.
Well, and you said Friends, which is a lot of the bands you've been in. For example, the Mission Band, the Grievous Angels. I mean,
It's a lot of the same people.
it's a lot of same people, but it's your friends. It's
Yes,
like
they are my
if you
friends.
want to put a CD together, an album, or write a song, it's like, well, I'll just get my friends together because I know I'll have fun doing it, and I know it'll be good. And
We've all been playing. It's been a pretty incestuous ride for my neighborhood of musicians.
Yes,
And we've
yes.
all played in each other's bands. And yeah, it's pretty incestuous. Really hard for outsiders to understand, believe me.
well, how do you decide when you're writing a song? Okay, this is definitely a sugary song, or this is a song that, I mean, the other bands aren't still around, are they?
Well, some are. The fact that I'm currently always playing and recording with Sarana Berlin.
Oh, right, Soraya.
And
yeah.
even though we don't play that much together during the year because she does live in England, we still just finished. Here's how this record got made. I actually started doing some tracks for Billy and Sarana, but I had some extra songs that I thought could be good for a Sugaries
Okay.
record. But so I get the band in there, and I would teach them. We'd record 3 or 4 tracks. Turned out a lot of times it was 2 would be for Billy and Sarana, and then a couple more would end up on this record. So over 2 years, I basically recorded 2.5 records.
Oh,
And the Billy and Serrano record, Are You Listening, has, I think, 11 or 12. That's got 15. And they were all the same sessions.
okay.
Now, this ended up getting finished off a lot in the last year because I put out the Billy and Serrano record a year ago.
Right.
So that's how that all went down.
Okay.
And yeah, they're all my friends.
Nothing wrong with that. All right, how about another song?
Yeah. What we're going to play? Oh, yeah, with the instrumental.
I was hearing this sound check. Sounded good.
Yeah, this is a pretty song. This song, speaking of my English friends, I do go over there to play once a year, and then Serrano, her husband, comes here and we play maybe twice a year.
Okay.
Doesn't mean one date per trip, but I go over there. I'm going to be going in October. We have almost 8 dates.
You've been doing this, going
10
over there,
years.
10 years? Oh,
Yeah.
that long. Okay.
That's actually how Serrano ended up. I went over there. I got asked to go over there, and by some guy who saw me doing live from Billy's Basement videos
Oh, those
on
are
the
fun.
internet.
Yeah, yeah.
And he invited me, and then I said, "What about the girl in the video?" And he goes, "Yeah, okay." And then at the time, I was still playing with Jill Jack as well. I thought she'd want to go, so hey, listen to this girl. You think you can maybe get a caravan of us over there and get us the hotel rooms we need? And we don't need a lot of money, but we need a little help. And he said, so he checked out Jill, and so Jill was going. So we ended up going over there as a whole group.
Fun.
Yeah.
Well, it's always good, to get another group of listeners across the pond, just
We ended up
Introduce
making a lot of friends. Serrano decided she wanted to live there, and then
Yeah.
somehow through a series of events ended up living there.
got married.
Got married to an Englishman, and
Yeah.
that's how that all happened, and that's cool.
Okay.
But even cooler for me, I can go play some music with Serrano, and I could stay at their house.
I was
and
going to say,
they're-
you don't have to worry about that hotel
and
anymore.
we're all friends, and it's like a little commune. We
Big
just
old
trade
family.
cooking, and it's kind of neat, actually. Anyway, I was over there visiting, and I went for a walk in their neighborhood park, which is like a 1,300-foot hill behind their house, which is like a park, actually, a walking park. It's about 9 miles long and about a mile deep.
Okay.
And you just walk up there and do all these trails.
Cool.
Well, we went up late in the afternoon, and it was foggy. But we didn't think much about that. We didn't realize how late it was.
Oh.
So somehow we were up there walking around, and we go, we better go back down. It's getting dark and a little cold. And then we couldn't find the trail that took us down.
No.
And it was on a cement circular piece they put at the top of the hill, which says you're at the top of this hill and it's 1,300, and here's where the other trails are. It's been there 100 years, but it's got arrows.
Okay.
And we needed those arrows, and we needed that piece of cement. We couldn't find it.
Oh, no.
Finally, the dog found it. We followed the dog, and he was right there, and it showed the trail. We went down the hill, and when I got down the hill that day, I made some tea, and I wrote this song. 1, 2, 3, 4.
What's the name of that?
Roscoe's Tune.
Ah.
Who's our engineer and producer.
Yeah, yeah.
It actually, when I did it on my iPhone, I called it Gray Day. And then I changed it to Sunny Sunday, because it has a bright sound. And I thought, and that's what I meant to name it. But then I was in the studio with Roscoe, and I couldn't remember what I called it. So I just call it Roscoe's Tune. And now it's Roscoe's Tune. But it's a sweet name. It's going to carry on a nice legacy for him. It's going to be, that's Roscoe. It'd be like walking into the distance with that little anthem playing behind him.
Very nice. I like that. I like that. I can just picture you just enjoying a hot cup of tea,
It's exactly how it was.
Yeah.
It was very gray and cold, but that's why they drink a lot of tea. It really makes you friends with the cold. It just...
You want to be friends with the cold, okay.
You got to be friends with the cold, because it's always damp and cold there.
Yeah,
It's just cold. There's something cold there. It's beautiful. It's the most gorgeous place. I never want to leave there when I'm there.
Really? I've never been overseas. Never been to Europe, and
it's something you might want to treat yourself
to. But never had the opportunity.
I'll be amazed how you'll find connection over there that you didn't think you had. It's kind of neat.
Okay.
Because we're all from there.
We're all from,
in one way or another.
Yes. Yeah, we're all, yes. Because they all came over here, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. some sort of a gene pool with that.
Exactly.
All right. Pam exam.
Oh, sure.
And I pulled out the questions that I asked you last time you were here, which was, gosh, over a year and a.
It was over a year ago. Yeah.
Yeah, it was November. It was November of 17.
Really?
I think.
Oh yeah,
Maybe.
I do remember with Dave. Yeah.
Yes, with Dave. So it's been a while. So I could even ask you the same ones, but because it's been so long. But I'm not going to. And Chris and Ozzy, feel free to answer
please.
if you have.
I think I'd like some input from these guys.
I always love because
Otherwise, I got to get them some coffee.
I remember another band was in here, and the main guy was answered a question, and the drummer said, "I never knew that about you." It's cool. You guys learn about each other during the Pam exam as well.
These are personal questions. I'm curious. Let's see.
All right. If you had to share a 15-minute taxi ride with someone, who would that be? And they could be dead or alive.
It's either Gabriel Marquez or Carlos Castaneda.
I don't know those names.
Carlos Castaneda wrote a series of books about taking psychedelics in the desert. They were very popular in the 70s. Okay. They were huge.
Okay.
In fact, they've been all over Facebook lately. Someone's revitalizing them. But I have a few questions I have to ask him. So I would like a ride with him. Also, I just would like to be around. I don't read a lot, but I've read a lot of these Marquez books, and they create such a nice vibe of South America. The fact that I was able to read so many of his tells me something about him I really like, and I just like to sit and hear his voice.
Okay.
Tell its stories.
You're a big reader.
No, I'm not, but I read a lot of his.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And it amazes me that I could always be concentrated enough to read one of his long books. I must have really liked him.
Must be.
So that's what it was. And I've seen him a lot on Facebook lately being revitalized.
Guys, you have a question? Answer to that? Chris, huh?
I know. Yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't mind hanging out with just the Hemingway guys and all them. Just having a drink somewhere with those guys would be nice.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, they had good adventures. They were adventures. They were the Dylans of their day.
I just want to hop on the back of a train with Hemingway. just see what happens.
Ozzy?
Probably, that's an easy one. It would be my dad, just to get 15 more minutes.
Oh,
that's sweet.
Oh,
that is so sweet.
I guess we got to redo ours now.
God, man, he took it right to the heart.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
What is your guilty pleasure?
I got to clean this up. I think I had it last night. I think it was a Saunders Hot Fudge Sundae.
Okay.
I actually ate 2/3 of a pint. I never, ever do that. I mean, it was almost full, and I just ate it. What's yours?
Oh, traveling impulsively. Just getting up and going somewhere.
Road trip?
I can't
just
even do
with
that.
no warning.
Cool.
It's not easy to do, but it feels great.
That is hard to do. I can't do it.
Full tank of gas, a peanut butter jelly sandwich, and you're good to go.
Well, I need a lot more stuff than that. I need much more supplies than that. That's why.
And your guitar.
That's why. No, I need even more than that. Chris, what's your guilty pleasure?
There's this 1995 Mariah Carey song, I think.
Oh!
It's that one that's like, "Would you always be my baby?" You know that one? I love that song. I put it on whenever I get a chance. No one's ever heard it close to me, but I do it a lot. How's that?
Great.
If you had access to a time machine, where and when would you go?
I've talked about this a real lot lately. I mean, there's a lot of different eras and places that I would like to be around. But for me, I think about this a lot, so it must be true. I always wish I was about 10, 12 years older, and I was just America in the 54, 55 with a car that worked and the new highways being built. And Route 66 still around. Then I would like to travel. See, it's a little tense to travel today. Then it was wide open, and we had the car and the wheels. It was after World War II. We had those new 50s-looking motels that looked like spaceships because they were really into sci-fi then. I want America in that era. I think about it all the time. If I see a movie from the 50s, I examine the way Hollywood looked when they were filming it at that era and just go, see, it wasn't so tense then. It was kind of cool. It was fresh. That's what I would like. That's my time period.
Okay.
I want to be 10 years. And then I would have had the 60s right on time.
Yeah. Yeah.
I would have been right there.
Interesting.
Oh, for that question?
Yeah, you don't. I mean, if you don't
I'd
want
go
to.
onto the east side of Detroit around 1965, 6. And then, 'cause that's where my parents grew up.
Okay.
And I go knock on my dad's door and say, hey, man, you want to start a band?
Oh,
And then I'd be like, there's this girl you should meet. Her name's Cindy.
touche.
Then I'd introduce them.
Yeah.
And I'd be hanging out with Mom and Dad, and me and Dad are in a band. And then I'd come back, you know.
That's kind of like Back to the
Yeah.
Future.
But I always thought that would be cool, just to be walking by the Caju Cafe in like 66 or whatever year it was, and just knock on the door.
Oh, that's totally
Interesting.
And then I could meet my grandpa, too, because I'd never met him. You know, so it'll be a whole,
Cool. He'd answer the door.
yeah, I'd be like, hey, right, yeah.
I'm Chris.
Hey, what's up, Gramps? Yeah. So, yeah, that's what I would do.
I would totally toss that one away and just like go back 2 weeks. Last time I did laundry, so I didn't have to go home and do laundry today.
Keep it simple. He doesn't want to
my
make too
goodness.
many changes in the cosmic ripple of time. Just the laundry. Cleaner underwear. I would have created whole new universes in song. I would have had a whole songbook by now called the Billy Brandt collection from the folk era, and you could have clean underwear.
All right, Chris, I think you already answered this one, but what's your go-to song to sing in the shower?
It is actually not. It's, I always sing Young Americans by David Bowie, and yeah.
Okay.
Anyone that's stayed in a house with me for a few days has heard me do the, she pulls in just behind the bridge, he lays her down, she frowns, and do that whole, it sounds good doing those Bowie kind of voice things in the shower.
Okay.
It almost sounds like we're in a shower here with
Yeah.
this little echo.
Gee, my life's a funny thing, you know?
I smell a lavender soap right now.
Yeah.
Chris, do you use a soap bar that hangs on a string around your neck?
No, why?
Yeah, just curious.
Is that like what is
Something
that?
like Isaac Hayes would do or something.
Oh, no. But I'm going to start doing that.
Do you have a song you sing in the shower?
Not really.
Okay.
Not that I thought about recently. I mean, I've used the shower for its reverb characteristics many times in my life. But I have to say, in the last 5-10 years, I haven't sang much in the shower.
Okay. I'm sorry. You got this look on your face. All right, this one, and I think I know this because of, after the Detroit Music Awards, you always go, but to one of these,
Oh, yes, you do
Lafayette
know.
or American.
Well, that's easy.
Yeah.
It's obviously Lafayette. In fact, I have my eye on it today. Hopefully, Chris, who's with me, will have an extra half hour for me to get
Hey.
one of those.
I don't think we've never been in Detroit and not gone to Lafayette, really.
You've been very, very good about my compulsion.
Yeah.
Thought so. Favorite non-music pastime?
I'll start. I think my favorite thing is maybe it's my healthiest thing. It's definitely been it's yoga. It's not that I'm so religious about it, but I just know when I actually do it 3 to 4 days a week, everything feels better about my life. So it's not like my favorite thing. Sometimes I get stressed trying to get there on time because it's commitment like anything.
Right,
It's about
right.
that schedule that we're all getting like a little nuts over lately. Can you relate to that? Uh-huh. Yeah, so that's what we talked about all the way here. Just a little, but when I do it, I get a payback for it. I also like working in the garden a lot because that actually is the other benefit of the same thing.
Okay.
I notice I slow down right away. And
Well, if you get nature around you, how can you not?
it's just the actual the doing of it.
Yeah.
I put my phone down finally, and everything gets a little better for me. So
Do you have the tomato plants in and do
no,
that
I don't
kind of
have.
stuff?
I haven't. I should, but I have no vegetables in. But I got everything looking good.
Okay.
I'm going to get to the vegetables this week.
Kind of late, isn't it?
I know, but the weather was so weird, and I was
Yeah,
so busy
that's
with this record release. There was only so much time.
Priorities, I guess.
My days that were off were pouring, so it just didn't work.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know how that
You guys got a guilty pleasure?
Guilty. Is it guilty pleasure?
No, is that what it is?
No. What did I say?
Pastimes. Not music.
Pastime. Yeah, I'm sorry. Non-music pastime. I'm sorry.
You want to go?
I love canoeing, camping, mountain biking, and then when we get enough snow, some like solitude with the cross-country skis.
Oh, really?
Cool.
We like to canoe. We should do
Yeah,
that.
we're canoers.
Root canoers.
We did it last year. We had a great time.
That sounds awesome.
I just like writing short stories. I just make up stories. That's what I do in my pastimes. So
Have you ever published those?
no, but that's my goal in the next year. So,
Okay, good.
Yeah, we got about 7 down. I want to finish off a few more.
How many do you need for a book?
I think anytime, any amount you want, really.
Okay.
Yeah,
Are you going to call it Henry?
just might. There is a story about him.
I'll bet there already is a story.
Oh.
I heard it.
Oh yeah.
Who's Henry?
Henry. Oh, little naughty Henry.
It's one of Chris's characters.
There's a new band that I'm starting, but it's basically just me in the studio, then finding people to play. But it's the Gary Janes is the name that it goes by, and I got most of the record done. But there's a song called Henry on that record about a very he's just a naughty little boy. He's so, and you'll have to hear the song when it comes out.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm curious. All right. Okay. How about another song, guys?
Okay. Let's do World Turning.
Got the Sugaries here in the MusicTown studios today.
This is a really cool session, by the way. We've never played this little arrangement together, and I'm really digging the feel of it. It feels really good.
Good.
Yeah, Ozzy's.
He's the guy.
Yeah, he's great.
Ozzy, sounds like you'll be doing more with these two.
That's great. I'm totally into it.
I do want to go canoeing, by the way. Chris, we haven't done it this year. You know the Jordan, right?
Yeah.
It's a great one-afternoon trip. It's just
It
enough
goes
to
like
get
this.
your
Where's the
canoeing
Jordan?
It's starts. You pick it up a little bit north of Mansalona, is where you put in.
Okay.
And it ends up in East Jordan, kind of near Charlevoix.
Okay. Way up north.
Well, yeah, it's up north.
Okay,
It's
up north.
the Charlevoix area. That's how I look at it. But I went to summer camp around there too.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, here's a nice little dystopian lullaby, kind of a blues. And let me find a pick, just in case I need one.
You need one?
I have one.
I may have one.
I got one. I put it in my pocket. That's what I
Okay.
got. No, I didn't. Oh, here it is.
It fell.
I usually have like a dozen picks in my pocket. There was none. That's weird. I'm behind. It's like batteries running out. All my batteries are running out. 1, 2. Yeah. When the sky opens and you hear those trumpets blow, well, you know just where you're going. When the weary wind blows and you know it's time, you got to make up your mind. Well, the world, it's turning slowly, and your back, it's to the wind. Feel the glide, feel the glow. You may not be back again. The world is turning, those trumpets blow. Do you know where you're going when the weary winds blow? And the world is turning. Feel our souls burning.
Ooh, another good one. Ooh, like that.
Thank you.
We're turning another song off the new Riverside album.
I like this record.
Yeah, yeah, this is good
I
stuff.
like this record.
I listened to most of it, but yeah,
Long.
it was
I mean, I can barely do 15 songs in a sitting. If someone gives me, I'll go, yeah, right.
no, it's fine. You know, it's just
Well,
yeah.
you can listen to it in sections. Actually, it is sort of in sections. There's sort of a beginning feel of the record, then it goes into kind of more middle, old album rock, kind of ballady thing, which is good stuff. And then it gets heavy near the end and
Yeah,
dark.
yeah. Good stuff. Good stuff.
Thanks.
So, I mean, you just finished this, just had the release out, and knowing you, you probably are still writing just constantly.
You know, I am. I wrote a bunch in the last couple of years. Putting this out in the last couple of months really turned off the writing gene in me. It just, it was going really, really, really good for a long time, but just the nuts and bolts of finishing this got me a little bit twisted, where I just didn't feel any writing lately.
Okay.
So it just hasn't been happening lately. But everyone around me is writing, and that's good. So it's their turn.
Well, I mean, 15 songs, and you did, last year with Serrana,
yeah.
so,
And
you're
there's about 5 in the can. There was about 30 songs in 2
give
years.
yourself a break, Billy. Jeez.
I'm proud of myself. I'm happy with myself.
Yeah.
I'm not pushing Billy at all. Billy's fine. He doesn't have to write a song for another couple of years.
So what's the plan? You just had the CD and release.
I'm thinking of actually investing in possibly, I got to check on it, the cheapest version of radio promotion to see if I can get this just in some public radio and whatever I can do wider than Detroit.
Okay.
That will cost some money. I'm going to need to find it. And then there's not a lot of shows for the Sugary July. We got about 4 bar shows, which we're playing at the Watermark out in St. Clair Shores, playing at the Dixie Moon. We're playing at O'Malley's with the great PA system in the end of July, Cajun Cafe, and then another month off. So it's like nothing for 3 weeks.
Really? No summer festivals booked?
It didn't work out for me this year.
Really? Oh, I'm sorry
No,
to hear
the
that, because
timing
you're
was
usually
bad.
at least 1 or 2 of them.
I'll be at Arts Beats and Eats.
Okay.
There was timing issues with everyone's schedules,
Okay.
and we got a good push into the record, but now I'm going to just have to take a little
Okay.
breather. I got other things to do.
Yeah.
I'm playing some music, with some friends, and it's going to be nice.
Okay. Okay. Well, that's cool.
It's all good. And then I'm going to England in October. I don't know if, like I said about the touring thing,
Yeah.
I couldn't even picture putting that together, and even asking everybody, hey, can you commit 4 weeks to me?
Yeah. Yeah.
And I can pay you maybe $200-300 a week, and maybe we can get our own hotel rooms. Maybe I doubt it.
Yeah, big
I mean,
maybes.
really, what is that? No one can do that.
Well, just so that people know where they can find you, best way is.
You can find me on my Facebook page, the best. Just it's a public page. I mean, you can see everything I post. There is a Billy Brandt and the Sugaries Facebook page as well, which I used for the first time during this. I don't understand those pages and how they work, but I've tried to use it. So there's information there. BillyBrandt.com will have an updated schedule this week.
Okay.
I keep filling in about a month ahead. That month goes by in a second.
Yeah.
So it's not caught up now.
Yeah.
It will be, it's www.billybrandt.com.
Okay.
And that'll have my schedule on it. Any good web guys out there, me and Chris both need a web guy to rescue our web pages for an affordable price. Please call us.
There you go. All right. Why don't, all right. Want to take us out with another song?
Sure, I do. I do.
All right.
You know what?
What?
And even if you don't like the music, he's got super cool T-shirts you can buy.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
And they're not on my page yet, too. I need a web guy like today.
Yeah.
Web person, find me today, rescue my page from the internet world that I don't understand, and put all my info and records on there, because
Okay.
I'm screwed right now. But
All
you
right.
can find me in all the other outlets. CD Baby does a great job of distributing this digital stuff. So
Okay. All right. What song are you going to wrap up here with?
I'm going to do a... What do you have prepared?
Try Somebody, Days of Fading.
That's it. They're both rockers. Okay.
Eeny, meeny, miny, mo.
They're both kind of rocky. I'm not quite up for it, but I'm going to go for it. I'll trust somebody, hey?
Yeah.
Oh, 1, 2, 3, 4. You gotta trust somebody. You gotta trust somebody sometimes. You gotta trust somebody. Oh, you just can't live. Turn it back, turn it up, turn it around. Oh boy, it's been coming down. Running fast, running slow, where will you go? Your mouth is moving, don't you think I know? You gotta trust somebody. You gotta trust somebody sometime. You gotta trust somebody. Oh, you just can't live. Looking good, looking bad, hearts on the shelf. I don't trust you, don't trust myself. Broken heart, broken dreams, I'm just a man. I'm living my truth, I do what I can. Trust somebody. Gotta trust somebody sometime. Gotta trust somebody. Oh, you just can't live. Here we go, boys. Peace in my blood, anger in my brain, as I lie in, getting suntan in the rain, miles on my feet, rhythm of the street, neon takes its toll from my gentle soul. Hey! I usually know better, but I don't care. My head's on the ground, my feet in the
Very nice.
Cool.
Thank you
That's
so
pretty
much.
nice.
Yeah,
That's fun.
good stuff. Thank you, Ozzy, Chris, and of
Good seeing
course,
you, Pam, always.
yeah, as always, Billy Brandt.
Thanks. That was
And,
fun. This is really cool.
yeah, good for
and I
you.
get a piece of tape of this. This is great.
Yes, so brand new CD, Billy Brandt and the Sugarees. Riverside is the new CD. BillyBrandt.com is find him on Facebook everywhere.
And find me on Facebook.
Yeah.
And I'm not the other guy. So there's a few Billy Brandts.
Well, you'll notice when you got the right one.
Right.
Well, again, thanks so much for coming in. It was great. Appreciate
Thanks,
it.
Pam.
Yeah, absolutely. And thanks to all of you out there watching today. Do appreciate that for another edition of Behind the Mic.
I forgot all about the camera thing.
It's there. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
As I say goodbye, he remembers the camera. Well, thanks for tuning in. I'm Pam Rossi. Have a great week.